Here we are at the 28th of September, so it's been 24 days since my last and final chemo infusion. I am starting to feel a little bit more myself, which is lovely. I kept thinking I was a week ahead of where I really was. So last week I had totally underestimated how tired and how difficult it was going to be for me to cognitively engage with things. So I ended up with a very reduced workload, but not being able to cope with that as well as I would have liked. But that was an interesting learning for me. I think I've got many weeks of that ahead. I'd like to get back to a place where I actually feel like I've done all the things that I set out to do for the week, knowing that there'll always be more things I want to do, but what are the things that have to be done, and get back to a place where I can go, yeah, I'm satisfied that I've done that. That's been a rare experience across my entire life. I think I'd like to use this opportunity now to build that and make that more of a regular thing, to be honest. But what I really wanted to remind myself of in this video today was coming home from a week away with John. That was week two after I'd had my final chemo infusion, and we flew to Ballina and spent a week in Byron Bay together, and we were by the beach. And I did a lot of walking, and a lot more walking than what I have been able to do. It was kind of like, I'm just going to get a 45-minute walk in today, and then I can sleep all day if that's what I need to do. I was sleeping well. There was one night that I didn't. I had all sorts of hormonal hot flushing things happening, but they've now become a regular occurrence every night from about 3 a.m. And I was eating really well. I was really focused on my nutrition, and so I was just trying to get those baseline foundational self-maintenance things back into place, knowing that we're going to have surgery sometime in the future, in the not too distant future. What was an interesting experience and somewhat hard to cope with at the time was when we got home. We walked through the front door, and I was completely overwhelmed and flooded with sensations of chemotherapy, and I couldn't express it, and I burst into tears, which is not usual for me. And I could smell it, and talking about it, I can smell it. I can see myself sick on the lounge. The way the light was coming through reminded me of it. I walked into our bedroom, and all I could do was smell and feel like I had the horrible effects of chemo and all of that stomach pain that went along with it, and how sick I felt. And it made me nauseous. The feelings were so strong, and the sensations were so palpable, and it was like I was reliving it all over again. I wasn't expecting that at all. So I not expecting it meant I wasn't anticipating it, which meant I wasn't prepared for it. And it took me a little while to calm myself down and help myself understand I was safe. And then I realized that, hey, I'm talking to myself like somebody who's just going through a traumatic experience. So I did some searching, and there is quite a large amount of information around this type of traumatic response that people have to chemotherapy. So something new to learn about. So giving myself graciousness and permission to just do what I needed to do to feel my feelings. And I've been able to pull myself out of a really dark place. I got scared that I was getting very depressed. That lasted for about 4 days. And then I was able to get my body pain under control. So as the chemo has left my body, my autoimmune symptoms have come back. And I think last week when we got home from Byron, the stress, because our flight got cancelled and there was some stress around that, but then that trauma, that almost trauma response in that moment precipitated a flare-up of my autoimmune symptoms. So I worked out that was going on, and it wasn't depression, and I was able to put myself back on the Imuran, and I've already doubled that, taking it morning and night, because I wasn't getting through the night without pain waking me up again. So it's kind of like, yay, chemo's out of my body, but oh man, I forgot about this bit, and this is what my life was like before I had cancer. So there's an incredible amount of grief and loss as I realize that this is possibly in my life for a lot longer. And yes, So I just wanted to make sure I captured that and remembered that, so that it may help me with the clients that I work with or the people that are in my world, or it may help someone else, whoever gets to watch this video. So we are off to see surgeon number 4 today. I have learnt to let go of expectations, apart from the expectation of being treated with respect and dignity, because to me that's a given, even though it hasn't always been expressed. So we will see what's happening next. Although I did have a lovely part of my dreaming or half waking last night where I met with this surgeon and he said, I don't think you need this surgery at all. I think this is a waste of time and unnecessary. That would be kind of a really nice outcome from today's appointment. Here we go.